Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for watching. In today's video, I am going to be doing the assumptions tag, whatever you want to call it. So these videos are becoming so popular here on YouTube where basically everyone kind of puts in their assumptions about you and then the YouTuber kind of answers it and either agrees with that or doesn't. So I thought this was just a fun way for you guys to get to know me a little bit better. And I don't know, I just thought they were really fun to watch. So I was like, well, I'll just go ahead and film one. So I asked you guys to leave me your assumptions under my community tag and about like 15 of you did. So I thought, well, I'll just go ahead and film with those assumptions. But if you have any more in the comments down below, go ahead and just leave those and then I will answer them in the comments. But for now, let's just go ahead and get started. So Michelle Smith said, I assume that you are religious and attend church/religious services regularly. Pretty much. Like, I don't know if I use the word religious to describe me. I definitely think that like I have a really strong relationship with God, and it's hard. So I am like a Christian. I'm non-denominational. I don't identify with any kind of like religious group or like follow any certain kind of rules or anything like that. I really just attend like non-denominational services and I just try to live off of the Bible as much as I can. I don't, you know, have all of these like rules and I don't put those on other people, anything like that. Like I just do what is best for me in my life and what fulfills me, and that is what does it. So that assumption is pretty much right. Yeah. So Laura Presley said, I assume you practice what you're going to say before you film. I actually don't. Now, if I'm going to review a product and I want to make sure I hit certain points, I will like write those down just so I have like a checklist of making sure that I'm doing like price, texture, scent, you know, like finish, all of that stuff if I'm reviewing something. But I don't necessarily sit down and have like a script and practice what I'm going to say. I just kind of go off the cuff pretty much 99% of the time. Margaret Loves Makeup and More says, I assume you have a great sense of humor and are a very kind and thoughtful person who is very good to your family, friends, and fiance. That is very sweet. Thank you. And I don't know. I always feel really weird like kind of talking about myself in this way, but I would say like, yes, I think I'm funny most of the time. So I don't know if like that's means I have a sense of humor or if I'm just weird. I don't know. But I'm really sarcastic and really dry. So I tend to make jokes that sometimes other people don't think are very funny, or like if you don't know me, you probably don't think I'm funny. Like me and my fiance Corey, we go back and forth a lot with each other because we're both very sarcastic, but we get that and we laugh at it all the time. But if you don't know us, you might be like, whoa, that couple's like taking digs at each other, but it's really just the way that we are with each other and our humor. So I'm really just like kind of sarcastic. And when she said you're very kind and thoughtful, that is just like so sweet. And I try to be, honestly, like that is kind of my main goal every day, is just to be kind. Be kind to my friends, my colleagues, my, you know, the kiddos I work with, my fiance, my family, like everybody. I really just try to be kind to. I am not perfect. I have a sassy side to me and I have an attitude and I can have a really short fuse at times as well. So while I strive to be kind, I would say obviously I'm not like that all the time just because I am a human being and I do, you know, make mistakes. But I definitely try to be. Dora Zoe, I don't know if that's how you say your name, I'm sorry. She said that you tend to be more critical of new things, products, change. Yeah, I mean, that's actually like a pretty accurate assumption. I would say that I've become less critical, especially of change, over the years. I've kind of learned how to like adapt to that, so to speak. I don't love it. I don't know if really anybody does, but I definitely have learned how to not be so critical of it. And as far as products go, I am critical of products, but I also understand that what works for me is not going to work for somebody else. And what doesn't work for me is not going to work for somebody else, because we all have different skin. We have different skin texture, different skin tone. We have, you know, different preferences on eyeshadow, the way they blend, the way they work, the colors of it. You know, we all have those different feelings and thoughts towards makeup. So I understand if a product is not for me or if it is for me and it's not for somebody else. You know, I just kind of like, I understand that. So while yes, I'm critical on new products, I also don't expect products to all work the exact same, just the way that I personally like them to be. So I try to be at least a little bit like even and balanced on that. Simply Hope, who I've done a collab with, she's so sweet. She said, I assume your life calling is to be a mom. And again, that is so sweet. I don't know if I would say that it's like my true life calling. It's definitely something that I want in the future. I don't mind the like changing diapers, nitty gritty, getting food, doing carpool. Like I don't mind any of that. I've babysat for years and years and years, and to this day I still, every Thursday night, I take my 2 little friends who you guys probably see all over my Instagram. I take them to dance class so their mom can like come home from work and, you know, make dinner and all of that stuff, and then I get to see them once a week for sure, so that's kind of nice. And you know, I have car seats in the back of my car. Like I don't mind any of that kind of like grind, if you will, you know, like just the daily in and out of things. And so I don't think I will be a bad mom, at least I hope not. I mean, I have a lot of experience with kids, and so I hope I'm not a bad mom, but I don't know if that's just like my one life calling, because I also kind of don't think that any of us have just like one thing that we are called to do that is just that one thing. I think we are kind of called to a lot of different things, and it's just kind of like what we choose to do in that season of our life. So right now I think I'm just called to be, you know, a therapist in a school and be a fiance and all of that, and then someday, you know, I will be called to be a wife and a mom and all of that. And so I think you just kind of fall into those callings through the seasons of your life. I don't think you're just called to be one thing. So I think that is a calling in my life, but I don't know if I would say it's the calling. But that is really sweet, Hope. Thank you. Brandy Lee said, I assume you want 2 kids. We actually, Corey and I talk about this, we don't really have like a number of kids that we are dead set on. So we are kind of thinking 3, but we also are like, if we can afford more, or if we, you know, which, I mean, really, you cannot really afford any kids. Like, let's think about it. If you wait to have kids till you're financially stable, you'll never have kids. But, you know, we say, like, if we could be okay with 3, then great. If we can have 4, 5, 6, then we'll do it, you know? So I don't know if we are, like, absolutely dead set on 3, but I think 3 is, like, minimum, and then we would probably go up from there. I don't know why. I think it's also because I'm one of 3. So in my mind, like, kids just come in 3s. I don't know. It's really funny. But he's an only child, so he doesn't really have any siblings. And so he definitely wants our kids to have siblings. But we're not necessarily set on 2. So I would say that assumption is probably not accurate, but who knows? It could be. I don't know. Jerry the streamer said, I assume you are quiet and reserved when you are not in YouTube land. This one I died laughing at, and so did Corey, and so did my sister when I read it to her. Like, it was hysterical, because this is the complete opposite of how I am. I would say that I am more reserved on camera than I am off. I definitely try to filter myself on camera because I understand that there are kids watching me, that there are, you know, people watching me who have kids in the background, people that are going to get offended by certain things, and so I don't speak the way that I speak off camera a lot. So, you know, off camera, I tend to curse a little bit more. I make a little bit more inappropriate jokes, like all of those types of things. Not saying that I don't show my true self on camera, because I definitely do. Like, this is who I am. But I definitely am aware of my language and of the way that I'm speaking, and I tend to filter that a little bit more on camera than I do off camera, just out of courtesy for my subscribers. Now, so I am just like not reserved at all. Like, that is something that has never been a word to describe me. I am loud. I am sometimes obnoxious. Like, I even think I'm annoying sometimes. I just am like sassy and loud. Like, and I always kind of have been. So like, even as a kid, I would make my family sit and watch me do dance routines on Thanksgiving, and I would put on plays, and I always had to be like the show. Like, I always was putting on a show. I was always in front of, like, I just had to be all of the attention. So I think over the years, you know, you grow up and things like that, and you kind of learn how to, like, in certain environments, kind of like filter yourself a little bit more and all of that stuff as you grow. So I think that's obviously still a part of me, but I definitely have learned kind of how to obviously filter that stuff at work and, you know, on camera and things like that. So I don't say I'm reserved at all, but I definitely think that I have grown up, you know, obviously. Alexandria Durat, I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know how to say your last name. I assume you're a book lover like myself. I'm not like a huge reader, to be honest with you. I'm not like there will be some books that I get into and I'm like, yes, and I finish them in like a couple days. And then there are other books that take me like 4 weeks to finish, or 5 weeks, or even longer. So it just kind of like depends on the book. But I'm not like an actual like huge book lover and I love to read. I wish I was, but that's never been me. Again, I think I've kind of ebbed and flow over the years as I find books I really like. Of course, I get more into reading, and then other books I just kind of don't. But like my mom will read probably like a book a week, and I am just like not that person, and I never have been. But yeah, so I mean, I wish I was, but it's just, I'm not. Shano82 said, I assume you are a very sensitive person. Corey would probably agree with you on this. I disagree. I do agree, because I do think I'm sensitive. I'm sensitive to the fact of like how other people are feeling, and I'm sensitive to the fact of how they act towards me, especially people in my life. Like, I kind of strive to not have any conflict in my life. I don't like conflict. It makes me extremely anxious, and so I just try to like appease everyone and get everyone just to stop arguing and stop talking. If things are getting heated, I'm like, nope, let's just stop. Like, and it's not even an argument. Sometimes it's just a conversation, and I get anxious about it because I'm afraid it's going to turn into an argument. I'm sure I could go back to therapy and really dive into that and figure out the reason, but that's just the way that I am. So I am sensitive in that aspect of things, of like the way other people feel. I think there are times that I am sensitive about like the way people speak to me and things like that, especially if you're in my life. But if you're not in my life and I don't love you and I don't like, but I guess what I'm saying is like, if I don't have a relationship with you and you speak unkind to me, I don't care. Like, that does not bother me in the least. Now, if I have a relationship with you though, and you say something that hurts my feelings, I'm very sensitive to that. So I would say yes and no on this assumption. Artiza Rodriguez, I'm sorry if I didn't say your name right. She said, I assume you'll try to get pregnant right after marriage. No. So we definitely want to wait at least a year before we even start trying to have biological children. We're not living together before we're married, so I want to be able just to kind of like find our rhythm as a married couple and just like enjoy that time together before really diving in and starting our family and expanding that. I just want to be able just to like have some time with each other, and he does too. This is like kind of a mutual agreement. I'm talking like it's just me, but it's not. And so we really just kind of want to have that time together because, you know, we haven't lived together before. So just kind of to find our rhythm, and then we'll start expanding our family. Probably after, like, we'll start trying, like, after a year. Jessica Nixon said, I always wondered what you do for a living. I assume that you have a job where you're in complete control of your office. So when I first was out of grad school, I had a job where I pretty much was in control of my office. Like, I had my office, and then we had separate therapy rooms. So as far as my office, I was definitely in charge of that and like in control of it. And then the therapy rooms, not so much, but it was really small, and so we all kind of had a say on how things were going. And then I went to a hospital that I worked at for about 6 months, and I had no control over my office. I didn't even have an office there. So we had like separate treatment rooms, and then I didn't even have a space to like lay my stuff. I had a book bag that I would carry around with me from space to space, and so that was really kind of difficult for me. Now I have left that job, and I now work at a school, the school district that I actually grew up in. And I have an office, and I have like it decorated, and now I'm in like complete control of my office, and that is where I see kids. That's where I, you know, do my paperwork, all of that stuff. And I absolutely love it. It is definitely just like the right fit for me. And I love being in control of my spaces because I just feel like I can do what is best. And I'm just kind of like that kind of controlling person anyway. So it tends to work out a little bit better. So yes, now I have an office that I'm in complete control over. Margie Payamu, again, sorry if I'm butchering your guys' names. I kind of feel like I am. She said, you are tall. I am. So I am 5'10", 5'9 and a half, 5'10". It kind of just depends. I don't know. Sometimes I'm 5'9 and a half. Sometimes I'm 5'10". I don't know. So yeah, I am pretty tall. I always have been. My mom is like 5'11". All of her brothers are over 6 feet. My cousin was 6'7", 6'8". So, I mean, that side of the family is just very, very tall. And so my dad's side isn't really, but my mom's side is, and I definitely take after that side as far as my height goes. I've just always been extremely tall. I was like 5'1" in the 4th grade. Yeah, I've always been tall. And as a kid, I obviously hated it because I was like, you know, taller than all the boys pretty much until like 10th grade. And, you know, I was kind of just not like, I wasn't one of those girls that was tall and like a pole, like very skinny. I was like a built tall girl. Like I had some meat on my bones forever, like my entire life. That's how it's been. So I was really self-conscious of that as a kid. And now as an adult, I definitely have my days, not necessarily about my height, but more so about my body. But as far as my height goes, I love it. I love being tall. I think it's very empowering in a way, and you can just make your presence known a little bit. So it's weird. I don't hate it. I definitely like my height now. Again, I just, of course I go through phases and days where I don't like my body, but welcome to the world. Michelle Castellano said, I assume you like to sing and have a beautiful singing voice. Like to sing? Yes. Beautiful singing voice? No. That is definitely not. I don't think it's horrible. Like, I'm not tone deaf. I can definitely, like when I was in theater and stuff in high school and I was in the chorus, like, I could keep up, like, I could carry the tune, like, whatever. But as far as, like, solo, like, really having a good singing voice, not so much. Like to sing, yeah, I sing all the time. I just am not really good at it, but whatever. Rachel F said, I assume you're an only child. I'm not, actually. So I have 2 older sisters. They are 30 and 29. One of them is actually about to be 31. We are super close. They are like my best friends, and I don't know what I would do in my life without them. And so, yeah, I'm not an only child. I do have 2 older sisters, and then they are both married, so I have 2 brother-in-laws as well. And then, obviously, I'm getting married, so I have, a fiance. So there's 6 of us kind of total now as far as, like, kids go on our side of the family. I guess until we all start having kids, and that will change. But for right now, yeah. So I have 2 sisters, and they're both married, so I always say, like, I have, like, 4 siblings, kind of, like, total through in-law and all that. Vanessa Lucanti said, I assume you have a very organized house. So, yes and no. So, I live with my parents, and so I pretty much don't really have, like, it's not like I don't have a say. I mean, I do. But it's my parents' house. So, my mom kind of has done her thing upstairs. Now, I do have the entire basement. This is where I film. Like, over here, I have kind of, like, my little sitting area with a couch and stuff. Behind my filming stuff, I have my bookshelf and all of that. And then I have back here, you go back there, and there's, like, a bedroom and a bathroom. It's kind of like an in-law suite, but it's just mine. So, whatever. So this space, I would say, is pretty organized. Like, my makeup is very organized. My books are, my movies are. Like, I have organized places. I have things in a place. But then I also have, like, random things that don't have a place at all. Like, I'm looking at my bookshelf, and I have just, like, random books and, like, bank stuff thrown on top. When Corey and I opened our bank account together, it's like there's just paperwork sitting right there. Like, I have makeup that, is unopened over here and over there. Like I have stuff in random places. So while yes, it's organized, I definitely have my, like, little things that don't have a place at all. But I don't know, I feel like it almost looks lived in, so I don't hate it. Alright, you guys, so that is it for this assumptions video. I hope it was fun, and I hope you guys got to know me a little bit better. I had fun filming it, and I had fun asking you guys and hearing what you said. Again, if you have any more assumptions about me and you want to leave them in the comments down below, feel free, and I will respond to as many as I can. Thank you guys so much for watching and just your constant support. If you are not subscribed, I hope that you will and hang out with us here. I try to upload 3 days a week. Sometimes it's only 2, but I really do try for 3. If you have any video requests, leave it down below in the comments as well, as I am, like, always looking for new things to film. Again, thank you guys for watching. I hope you have an awesome day, and I will catch you guys in my next video. Bye.